Welcome to the Cox Plate edition of Whipsarecracking's review show. I guess it was just a procession for the Kavanagh Rod Show yesterday, and we're here to discuss our thoughts on the Cox Plate and the Amy Vars winner in particular, I guess. So I'd like to welcome Matthew Zammond, our respected form analyst, and Suman Hedge, Bloodstock Manager for Iskander Racing.
Good morning to you.
Thank you, mate. And Matthew, I'll let you start off on this, I think.
Okay. Look, I have to say, not to rain on anyone's parade, but I have to say that I thought the Cox Plate was disappointing, and it wasn't really surprising. I guess at the end of the day, our thoughts, our points were well made that this was a disappointing field that was assembled. So I think though the way the race was run, exacerbated everything and really just left everyone coming away with a feeling of, well, was that actually the Cox Plate the Australasian Weight for Age Championship? I don't know whether it's just a matter of we've got a weak year or what it is, but we certainly had a few of the better ones, the better hopes early on that have fallen by the wayside and that left what was a substandard field. Look, full credit to the winner. It was a fantastic ride. The horse was only challenged at, I think, the 500 metre mark, and prior to that was just left alone. He ran an 11.69 second last 200. I mean, how could they beat him? That's just impossible. You're not going to run down any horse, let alone Mount Deviant, really seasoned galloper like him. They're talking about the rabbits that Kavanagh pulled out of the hat. He threw everything at him by the kitchen sink to win this race. So if he didn't win, I don't know where he went to from here. I don't know if there were blindfolds or what you could come up with. But it all worked for him. The schooling during the week over the jumps, the blinkers for the first time. It seems to be the trick for Zabils. There's been probably 4 or 5 Zabils win the Cox Plate. I think Octagon was the only Zabil not to wear the blinkers when winning the race. So it obviously he was proved right, and plenty of knockers as to why he wasn't running Who Begot You. But you have to say that looking at that, he's won both races with each of them. So he's pulled the right rein, I guess, at the end of the day.
He feels vindicated now.
I'm sure he does. Look, I think there's no question, and I have a feeling you guys will agree that the best horse in the race and the best performance was Zipping, the runner-up, and he should have won the race. I can't take anything away from Nicolik, the rider. I thought he made the move at the right time when the field started to bunch a bit at that 500 metre mark, sat outside the leader. But he just couldn't sprint as quickly as the leader and take that ground off him, so to be beaten a length, I thought it was a super run. He needs to go to the McKinnon. He can win the McKinnon Stakes because the last time he ran in the McKinnon and ran a blinder for a second or a third, he wasn't trying.
Is he that committed to the McKinnon?
He is, but I'm also hearing he's going to go to the Melbourne Cup, and I cannot believe
I'd rather see him go to the Melbourne Cup.
No, I would not.
It is a win. We need more Australian representation.
Mate, I've backed him every time.
Run fourth again.
Yeah, he might run fourth again.
Can I put this to you?
Good prize money for fourth, I suppose.
He's better this year.
His 2/4, irrespective of that, his 2/4 in Melbourne Cups were in superior years, I feel. The 4th he ran to Delta Blues and to Pop Rock, that was a strong year that year with the Japanese horses. I mean, if you take those Japanese invaders out, he runs second, so...
No, I don't think he gets 2 mile. I don't think, I think the field's strong enough for him not to win, considering the performance level he's displayed over 2 mile. The McKinnon's for him. I really think he's a horse that should go on and win the McKinnon. Samantha Miss, third, great run, certainly for a 3-year-old filly. As I sort of made my points clear, it's not a race for females, let alone 3-year-old fillies, this Cox Plate. For her to do what she's done as a 3-year-old filly is fantastic. She'll go back to her own age now in the VRC Oaks, and I really do see her romping away with that race. I'm a fan for that Miss Scarlatti, but that level,
class.
Mate, that level of performance at weight for age in a Cox Plate, to run third, beaten a length by a neck, all goes well for a VRC Oaks.
She goes there, they won't get near her.
They won't get near her. Well, Miss Finland came off a much lower performance to romp away with the VRC Oaks against a great stayer in Tuesday Joy. So, full credit to Samantha Miss to that end. She did have every possible chance though. 1 out, 1 back, off the back of a slow pace. She had a chance to win the race.
Terrific ride, but
yeah, it just wasn't good enough, I guess, at the end of the day. Princess Coup. Suman and I have copped a bit of flack from some of the guys who enjoy watching this program. I like to say, look, you want to come over here as well because you might want to take her back home because she's not up to it here at the top level. That's just plain and simple. And what's more, if you're back to yesterday, and I've got a feeling you might have, You're a mug, I'm telling you.
I'm back zipping.
Oh, you're back zipping.
Yes.
Anyone who backed Princess Crew on a tight track like that is an absolute mug, full stop, because she's not a small track horse, she's a big track horse. Look, back her up in the McKinnon by all means, and she'll have certainly a better chance than what she did yesterday, but I still don't see her beating Maldivian, zipping those sort of horses anyway. She's just failed too many times for me.
I thought, as Matt's said, it was a disappointing race yesterday. I just felt that a lot of jockeys didn't show much initiative, and they let
No initiative.
No, they let Michael Rodd get away with Blue Murder yesterday. And for that to happen in a race like the Cox Plate, which is supposed to be a test, and it was baffling to me, particularly when in the race you could see that a lot of horses were not settling, and they were fighting the riders because they wanted to go faster because they were going at such a slow pace.
Yeah, well, Nashville was guilty of that with
like you said, back.
Thesio. What is he doing?
Unbelievable. I just, maybe they thought he was a distance query. I don't know, but why run him if you think he is?
And why
I just don't get it. It was a really odd sort of thing. But bottom line, Maldivian, it was a good I guess reward for a horse that was very good last year, and this year's been a little bit below par. Very odd that a horse, a 6-year-old Zabil's blinkers for the first time. They usually excel in them, so it was turned out to be a masterstroke to have that up your sleeve. I remember a couple of weeks ago when you guys were quite scathing on the horse. I said I didn't think he was going quite as bad because he was leading in his races over short distances and just looking more like a stayer.
Yeah, but he got his opportunity in the Caulfield Cup. He didn't stay either. So.
But I think there with the conditions, and he was disadvantaged a little bit. And Moonee Valley's, it's always easy to, in hindsight, to be an expert, but it is more of a leader's track, and a horse like that can make his own luck.
I think your point's well made, but I think at the end of the day, it was a turnaround in form, definitely. And
do you think so? Really, that big a turnaround?
Yeah, but and look, and I also, my second point is that he was served the race up.
He was served on a platter.
I actually backed Zipping. I was going for Zipping in the race, and he was incredibly unlucky yesterday. I think that the horse, for him to make 2 runs like that and to just narrowly get defeated, unbelievable. The track probably didn't suit him because it got quite firm by the time the race was there. He's come back in outstanding form. I do agree with you. I think McKinnon's probably the best bet for him. But if they run him in the Melbourne Cup, he'll run a cheeky race because he's in such good form at the moment.
He always does know how to run a bad race.
He doesn't. He's a very underrated horse. He deserves a good Group 1. And Samantha Miss, I thought her run was full of merit. She's a filly that I've got enormous admiration for. I don't think it would have made any difference had there been speed on in the race for her, because I think Zipping would have beaten her in those conditions, but she still would have run a place.
Well, he came from behind her off a slow pace.
That's right. I don't think she could have beaten him. I don't really have a lot to say about the other horses other than Rahib, who should not have been in the race. It was a disgrace that horse was in that race. It was just lucky that he didn't knock one of the favoured runners out when he was going backwards at a rate of knots. He is not a 2,000 metre horse. He should not have been there. And I think that in future they need to be a lot more careful about criteria of which horses they allow in such a race.
It was just one of those years that it was a weak field, and I think they just indulged a little bit in letting Tinkler have a runner in the race. However, look, good luck to Kavanagh, good luck to Rod, but I don't feel the best horse in our weight for race championship of Australia won the race. Maldivian was served up that race on a platter. It was an absolute disgrace they're meant to be not only our best horses but our best riders in the country, and for them, a lot of the performances of these jockeys was disgraceful. They should be going back to apprentice school and be taught how to rate a race. National Willow, I've got to be most scathing of, because that horse was pulling and tearing the whole way, wouldn't settle for him, yet he wouldn't allow him to run. And what eventuated was Maldivian running the first 1,000 in like a minute and a half. Maybe that's exaggerating a little bit, but it was a trot and canter. Yep. And how could they run him down off such a slow pace?
Right.
So I don't know if it was such a brilliant run by Maldivian or such a poor effort by every other runner in the race not to allow him to to indulge himself in front as he did.
I agree with you.
Disgraceful. Wake up to yourself, people. And yeah, that's all I have to say on that matter, Maldivi. And good luck to him, and good luck to Kavanagh. They had an amazing day, winning the 3 major races. But I agree with you guys. Zipping should have won the race. Had it been run anywhere near the pace we thought it was going to be run at, and anywhere near the pressure cooker that the race is normally run at, Zipping wins the race, and you probably see Maldivian compound like he has in previous weeks. I don't know, but good luck to the connections. I think we've covered it all there for the Cox plates. Thank you.